It's finally happening. The moment you've been waiting for, without even realizing it. October's final day has arrived, and you're hearing this message right now. That's not coincidence. That's not the algorithm. This is divine alignment. This is your confirmation. The last day of October isn't just another date to cross off your calendar. It's a threshold, a spiritual checkpoint, proof that you've already passed a test you didn't even know you were taking. And the fact that you're here right now, hearing these words, is evidence that you made it through. If you passed the test, if you survived October's fire, drop a like right now, subscribe to this channel, and comment, "I passed," so the universe knows you're claiming your victory, and so this message reaches other chosen ones who need this confirmation today. October wasn't just a month. It was an examination, a spiritual stress test designed specifically for chosen ones. And unlike obvious tests with clear instructions, this one was subtle, woven into your everyday life in ways you couldn't predict or prepare for. The test came disguised as ordinary moments that felt extraordinarily difficult. It showed up as sleepless nights where your mind wouldn't rest, replaying scenarios you couldn't change. It arrived as unexpected betrayals from people you trusted. It manifested as doors slamming shut, right when you thought breakthrough was coming. It appeared as a heaviness in your chest that you couldn't explain to anyone because it had no logical source. Every moment this month when you wanted to quit but didn't, that was the test. Every time you chose to keep going when everything in you screamed to give up, that was the test. Every decision to protect your peace when chaos surrounded you, that was the test. Every choice to trust your inner voice when external voices shouted louder, that was the test. And here's what most people don't understand. The test wasn't about perfection. It wasn't measuring whether you handled everything flawlessly or made all the right choices. The test was measuring your endurance, your resilience, your willingness to keep moving forward even when you couldn't see the path. Think back over the past 31 days. Remember the moments that broke you, the conversations that crushed you, the situations that left you questioning everything you thought you knew. Those weren't random hardships. Those were specifically calibrated challenges designed to see if you would break or bend, if you would surrender or stand, if you would lose yourself or find yourself deeper. You passed because you're still here. You passed because you didn't give up, even when giving up looked reasonable. You passed because you held on to your light even when darkness tried to swallow it. And the proof isn't just that you survived, it's that something in you shifted. You're not the same person you were on October 1st. You're stronger, clearer, more aligned with your true purpose. The universe doesn't give hidden tests to everyone, only to those being prepared for something greater, only to those who carry assignments that require refined character, only to chosen ones. And if you made it to this final day still standing, still breathing, still believing, you passed. October came like a spiritual surgeon, cutting away everything that didn't serve your highest evolution. And what it removed wasn't random. Every loss, every ending, every person who walked away, every opportunity that dissolved, all of it was precisely what needed to go. The test wasn't just about endurance, it was about release, about whether you could let go of what was familiar but toxic, comfortable but limiting, known but wrong for you. October asked, will you hold on to what's killing you, or will you trust the process of losing it? Maybe you lost a relationship this month. Someone you thought would be there forever suddenly revealed their true nature and walked away. That felt like failure, like rejection, like proof that you weren't enough. But the truth is, That person was blocking your next level. They were an anchor, disguised as a companion, keeping you tethered to a version of yourself you've outgrown. October didn't take them away to hurt you. It removed them to free you. Maybe you lost a job, a position, a role you thought defined you. The security you depended on suddenly evaporated, leaving you exposed and uncertain. That felt like disaster, like punishment, like the universe abandoning you. But the reality is, that position was a cage disguised as stability, keeping you confined to a small version of your potential. October didn't strip it away to destroy you. It cleared the space for something aligned with who you're becoming. Maybe you lost your peace this month. The calm you once carried got replaced with anxiety you couldn't shake. Sleep became impossible. Your mind raced constantly. Your body carried tension you couldn't release. That felt like you were breaking down, like something was wrong with you. But the truth is, your peace was built on illusions, on pretending everything was fine when it wasn't, on avoiding truths you needed to face. October didn't steal your peace. It revealed where your peace was resting on false foundations so you could rebuild it on truth. The stripping away was necessary. Painful, yes. Brutal at times, absolutely, but necessary. Because what you're being prepared for doesn't fit with what you were carrying. The next level of your calling requires a lighter load. The assignment ahead demands clarity you couldn't have while clinging to what was clouding your vision. October was a month of divine subtraction, and while it felt like loss in the moment, it was actually addition by removal. Removing what was blocking your blessings, subtracting what was diluting your power, clearing away what was preventing your purpose from manifesting fully. And here's what you need to understand. You passed this part of the test by allowing the removal, even when it hurt, even when you didn't understand it, even when you wanted to fight to keep what was leaving. You let go. Maybe not gracefully, maybe not without tears or resistance, but ultimately you released what was being pried from your hands, and that release, that painful, difficult, necessary release, is what proved you're ready for what's coming next. All month long, you've been seeing signs, repeated numbers appearing at the exact moments you were thinking about specific decisions, songs playing with lyrics that spoke directly to your situation, conversations you randomly overheard that contained exactly the guidance you needed, dreams so vivid they felt more real than waking life, unexpected encounters that stirred something deep in your soul. You noticed them, you saw the patterns, but maybe you dismissed them as coincidence, as your mind seeing what it wanted to see, as wishful thinking during a difficult time. Let me tell you something crucial. Those signs weren't coincidence. They were confirmation. They were the universe's way of saying, I see you. I'm with you. You're on the right path, even when it doesn't feel like it. Every time you saw 1111 or 444 or 555, the universe was stamping your moment with divine timing, saying, pay attention to what you're thinking right now. Every time a song came on that addressed your exact situation, that was heaven speaking through the frequency of music, because you weren't quiet enough to hear it otherwise. Every time someone randomly said something that answered your unspoken question, that was a messenger being positioned in your path to deliver guidance. The signs intensified this month because the test intensified. When you're in the fire, you need more confirmation that you're not burning for nothing. When you're in the dark, you need more light to remind you dawn is coming. When you're being stripped of everything familiar, you need more evidence that you're not being destroyed. You're being refined. And here's the powerful part. The fact that you notice the signs is proof of your spiritual sensitivity. Not everyone sees what you see. Not everyone hears what you hear. Not everyone feels what you feel. Your awareness of the signs means you're operating at a frequency most people never access. It means your spiritual antenna is tuned to channels others can't receive. But the signs weren't just about comfort, they were about confirmation. Confirming that the person who left needed to leave. Confirming that the door that closed wasn't your door. Confirming that the delay was actually divine timing. Confirming that what looks like destruction is actually reconstruction. You pass this part of the test by trusting the signs over your circumstances. When everything looked wrong, the signs told you it was right. When everyone said you were crazy, the signs confirmed you were aligned. When logic said give up, the signs whispered keep going. And you chose to trust what you couldn't fully explain over what you could see with physical eyes. That is advanced spiritual maturity. That is what separates chosen ones from everyone else. There's a reason October felt like it was breaking you. Because it was. Not to destroy you, but to destroy who you used to be, so who you're meant to become could emerge. You can't transform without first being broken down. You can't be rebuilt while the old structure still stands. You can't step into your new identity while still clinging to the old one. October broke you down systematically. It targeted every false belief you held about yourself, every limiting identity you'd accepted, every small version of your potential you'd settled for. And one by one, it shattered them. Not cruelly, necessarily. Maybe it shattered your belief that you needed certain people to be okay, so it removed those people and forced you to discover that you're whole without them. Maybe it shattered your identity as someone who's defined by what they do, so it stripped away your position and forced you to discover who you are beyond your title. Maybe it shattered your faith in your own strength, so it brought you to your knees and forced you to discover a strength that doesn't come from you. It comes through you. Every breakdown was actually a breakthrough in disguise. Every moment you felt like you were falling apart, you were actually falling together in a new configuration. Every time you thought you were losing yourself, you were actually finding yourself beneath all the layers of pretending, performing, and pleasing. And yes, it hurt. Transformation always does. The caterpillar doesn't peacefully drift into butterfly form. It dissolves completely in the cocoon. Its entire structure breaks down into liquid before reorganizing into something that can fly. That's what October did to you. It put you in the cocoon. It dissolved the old form. It broke down the caterpillar version of you so the butterfly version could take shape. You passed this part of the test by surrendering to the breaking, not by being strong enough to prevent it, not by holding it together when everything wanted to fall apart, but by allowing the breaking, by trusting that what was falling apart needed to fall apart, by believing that the dissolution was part of the process, not evidence of failure. The breaking down was building up simultaneously. And now, on this last day of October, you're standing in a new form. You might not fully see it yet. You might still feel the pain of the transformation. But you're different. Fundamentally, undeniably different. And that difference is going to change everything about your next chapter. You can feel it, can't you? That strange sensation that something fundamental has shifted. The air feels different. Your body feels lighter, even though nothing external has changed. There's a calm underneath the storm now that wasn't there before. A knowing that's emerged from the chaos. A strength that's surfaced from the struggle. That's not your imagination. That's not wishful thinking. That's real energetic transformation. Your frequency has changed. The vibration you're operating on has elevated. And because your frequency changed, everything that comes into your reality from this point forward will be different. Think of it like this. You've been retuned. Like an instrument that was playing slightly off-key, October was the tuning process. Every challenge, every loss, every moment of pain was an adjustment, bringing you into alignment with your true frequency. And now that you're tuned properly, the music you create, the reality you generate, the experiences you attract, all of it will be in harmony with your actual purpose. This is why people might start treating you differently. Why situations that used to bother you suddenly don't. Why opportunities that never seemed to appear are suddenly showing up. Why clarity is replacing confusion. Why peace is overtaking anxiety. Your frequency changed, so your magnetism changed. You're no longer attracting what you used to attract because you're no longer who you used to be. The energy shift is why some relationships suddenly feel wrong even though they haven't changed. It's not that those people changed, it's that you did. You're vibrating at a different level now, and what once felt comfortable now feels misaligned. That's not a problem. That's proof of your evolution. Don't resist it. Honor it. The shift is also why you might feel both energized and exhausted simultaneously. Energized because you're finally aligned with your truth. Exhausted because transformation is work, and your body is still integrating the changes. Give yourself grace. Give yourself time. The exhaustion will pass as your physical form catches up with your spiritual evolution. You pass this part of the test by recognizing the shift and trusting it. Many people feel the energy change and panic, thinking something's wrong. They try to force themselves back into old frequencies because those felt familiar. But you're different. You notice the shift, and instead of resisting it, you're riding it. Instead of fighting the new frequency, you're embodying it. That's wisdom. That's maturity. That's evidence that you're ready for what this new vibration will attract. Passing the final test isn't the end of your journey. It's the beginning of a completely new chapter. And this chapter operates under different rules than the one you just closed. The universe can now trust you with things it couldn't trust you with before. Doors that were locked are now accessible. Blessings that were withheld are now approved for release. Opportunities that were beyond your capacity are now within your reach. Here's what you need to understand. The test wasn't arbitrary. It was qualifying you for specific assignments, relationships, resources, and levels of influence. Everything you endured this month was developing capacity, building strength, refining character, sharpening discernment. You needed all of that development for what comes next. The relationships coming into your life now will be different than the ones you lost. They'll be aligned with your truth, not your trauma. They'll add to your energy instead of draining it. They'll recognize your value without you having to prove it. They'll honor your boundaries without you having to fight for them. But you couldn't have attracted these relationships before October refined you. You would have sabotaged them with old patterns, pushed them away with old insecurities, or missed them entirely while focused on what wasn't meant for you. The opportunities appearing now will match your new frequency. They'll feel right in a way previous opportunities never did. They won't require you to shrink, to perform, to pretend. They'll invite your authentic self to show up and be celebrated. They'll stretch you without breaking you. They'll challenge you without crushing you. But these opportunities couldn't have come before October prepared you. You wouldn't have had the confidence to seize them, the discernment to recognize them, or the strength to sustain them. The resources flowing toward you now will come from unexpected sources. Money, time, help, support. All of it will appear in ways you couldn't have planned or predicted. Doors you didn't knock on will open. People you don't know will be moved to assist you. Provision will manifest right when you need it. But this flow couldn't have started before October cleared your channels. You were blocked by old beliefs, old patterns, old fears. The test cleared those blockages so the flow can begin. And here's the most important part. What comes next requires the version of you that emerged from October's fire, not the old you, not who you used to be, the refined you, the tested you, the proven you. If you try to step into this next chapter as your old self, you'll sabotage what's being given. But if you step forward as who you've become, clear, strong, aligned, unshakable, you'll steward the blessings better than you could have before. You passed the test. Now comes the reward. Not instantly, not all at once, but progressively, consistently, undeniably. Watch what happens in the days and weeks ahead. Notice the shifts. Track the synchronicities. Pay attention to what appears, who shows up, what opens. This is your season of receiving what you've been prepared for. But here's where many chosen ones fail after passing the test. They don't protect what they've gained. They survive the fire only to walk right back into it. They pass the test only to repeat the lesson. They gain clarity only to let confusion creep back in. Don't be that person. Now that you've passed, there are specific traps set for this moment. Spiritual warfare doesn't stop just because you leveled up. In fact, it intensifies. The enemy knows you just passed a major test, knows you're entering a season of blessing, knows you're aligned with your purpose. So he's going to try everything to derail you before the blessings fully manifest. The first trap is nostalgia. In the coming days, people from your past are going to resurface. Ex-partners, old friends, former connections. They're going to appear with apologies, explanations, promises to change. And part of you will be tempted to give them another chance because you're in a good place now and you think you can handle them. Don't. They're not returning because they've changed. They're returning because they sense your elevation and want access to your new season. Nostalgia is a trap designed to pull you back into patterns you just escaped. Protect your peace. Not everyone who wants back in deserves to be let back in. The second trap is complacency. You passed the test, and that might make you feel like you can coast now, like the hard part is over and everything will be easy from here. But passing the test earned you entry to the next level, and the next level has its own challenges. This isn't the time to relax your spiritual practices, your boundaries, your discernment. This is the time to sharpen them further. Complacency after victory is how most people lose what they just gained. The third trap is comparison. You're going to see other chosen ones stepping into their blessings, receiving their breakthroughs, walking in their purpose. And if you're not careful, you'll start comparing your timeline to theirs, your progress to theirs, your calling to theirs. Comparison will rob you of the joy of your own journey. Their breakthrough doesn't diminish yours. Their timing doesn't mean your timing is wrong. Stay in your lane. Trust your process. Celebrate others without diminishing yourself. The fourth trap is sharing prematurely. You're excited about what you're sensing, about what you're seeing shift, about what you know is coming. And you'll be tempted to share it with everyone, to announce your breakthrough before it's fully manifested. Don't. Not everything is meant to be public. Some blessings need to be protected in privacy until they're strong enough to withstand external energy. Premature sharing invites doubt, jealousy, and interference that can delay what's trying to arrive. You passed the test. Don't fail the aftermath. Stay vigilant. Stay protected. Stay aligned. The blessings are coming, but you have to be wise enough to steward them properly when they arrive. Finally, understand this. October's test wasn't the culmination of your journey. It was the qualification for your journey. Everything you experienced this month was preparing you for something bigger than you've yet imagined. The pain had purpose. The loss had reason. The breaking had intention. All of it was making you ready for an assignment, a calling, a destiny that requires exactly who you've become through this process. You're not at the end. You're at the beginning. October closed one chapter, but it simultaneously opened another. And this new chapter is going to require everything October built in you. The strength you discovered when you thought you had none. The faith you developed when nothing made sense. The discernment you sharpened when lies surrounded you. The resilience you forged when you wanted to quit. All of it is coming into play now. The next phase of your life is going to look different than anything you've experienced before. Not because external circumstances will be perfect, but because you're operating from a different internal foundation. You're not who you were 31 days ago. You've been refined, tested, proven. And that refinement changes everything about how you navigate what comes next. Expect acceleration. Things that should take years might happen in months. Doors that should require connections might open supernaturally. Provisions that should need planning might appear unexpectedly. When you've passed the test, divine favor moves differently. What was blocked starts flowing. What was delayed starts manifesting. What was impossible starts happening. But also expect new challenges, not as punishment for passing, but as evidence that you're ready for higher levels. The universe doesn't send you into bigger battles unless you've proven you can win them. So when new tests come, and they will, don't interpret them as failure. Interpret them as promotion. You're being trusted with more because you proved faithful with what you had. This is only the beginning, chosen one. October was the entrance exam. You passed. Now comes the actual journey. And everything you learned, everything you endured, everything you overcame, it was all preparation for this moment, for this season, for this calling. So here you are, on the last day of October, having survived what tried to break you, endured what tried to crush you, and emerged from what tried to consume you. You passed the final test. Not perfectly, not without scars, not without losses, but you passed, and that's what matters. This message finding you today isn't random. It's the universe's way of confirming what your spirit already knows. You made it through. The hardest part is behind you. The test is complete. And now, everything you've been prepared for can begin to manifest. Don't look back at October with regret. Look back with recognition of what it built in you. Don't focus on what you lost. Focus on what you gained. Strength, clarity, discernment, alignment. Don't mourn what ended. Celebrate what's beginning. You're not the same person who started October. You're stronger, wiser, clearer, more aligned with your truth and your purpose. And that version of you, the refined, tested, proven version, is exactly who needs to step into what comes next. The signs will continue. The guidance won't stop. The blessings are already in motion. Your job now is to walk forward with certainty, to trust what you've become, to honor what you've learned, to steward what you're about to receive. You passed the final test, chosen one. And because you passed, everything changes from here. Walk forward, knowing you're protected, guided, and prepared for what's coming. October's fire refined you. November's blessings will reward you. And your story, the testimony of how you survived what tried to destroy you, will inspire others who are still in their test. You made it. You passed. Now watch what happens next.